Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Becca. We already all know this by now. But I'm pretty excited because, as you know, we are settling into our new home and we have a few random pieces throughout. None of it is quite where it needs to go yet, and I don't know, there's still a lot to do in that regard, which I'm pretty excited about. No, at the same time, I love it, but it's also very overwhelming to me because I don't know what I'm doing. And we are adding the extra bonus of we're trying to get everything secondhand. One, because it is so much cheaper and we can't afford like a $5,000 couch. Who does that? Anyways, so we're trying to get everything secondhand, but it's exhausting. Like, it is a lot of work. You have to be constantly checking like Facebook Marketplace and going to thrift stores, which if I didn't have any kids, I'd be like, that's not a big deal at all. However, when you do have 2 kids, it can be a lot. But we're doing it anyways because this is what we prefer. It's better for the environment and it, again, just saves such an incredible amount of money. It's not even funny. Yeah, I just want to show you, we're going to go pick up a dresser that we are getting today and I am so excited. I think those are the biggest things that we need to find still. I'm looking for 4 different types of dressers. You'll see what I'm imagining later once I get the house all finished. You'll know what I'm talking about. Anyways, but this is what we're living with right now. Look. We're living out of our suitcases, which is my least favorite thing. I'm really bad at it because I know I want to find one certain thing. So then I rip everything out and it goes on the floor and then it drives Billy insane and we're going to get divorced. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I'm excited because we're going to go get this dresser and it's up on the North Shore. So we're just going to go do something fun up there anyways. And then I'm also kind of hoping that we can actually go to a thrift store together. I know I said this last time and then I didn't film anything. And it was kind of a disaster trip anyways. Like, William just had a huge meltdown and we ended up getting like 2 plates and that was it. So, I don't know. I have high hopes for the North Shore thrift stores. So, anyways, side note. So, we live in a basement apartment, which means that we get like not a whole lot of natural light coming in, which means that we have overhead light as our lighting. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Right now, everything is orange. I just wanted to show you our cute chair that we got. Yeah, as you know, we have a couch. We have this really cool coffee table. And then we just got this chair. Oh! Let me just crop out the mess of toys. But yeah, it is beautiful and I love it. I'm using it as my inspiration for the rest of the house. So I'm excited. We got it for like $30 at a yard sale, which is a lot better than the $500 that I was looking for used on Facebook Marketplace for like an accent chair. So, okay, let's go. Cold water. Are you dipping her feet in? Do you like that? We are at the most perfect little location. We were planning on going to Lynn Valley. We went there before and we just wanted to go pretty much right to the river there and just play in the water, let William throw in rocks, whatever. But we picked up the dresser from, we know them, they're in the orchestra, and she was like, oh, just go to the creek. It's like 3 blocks that way and it's really great for kids. It's not like a fast or big thing, it's just a little creek and it's kind of amazing. And so we're like, okay, we'll go check it out, and it is amazing. It's perfect. That was really lucky because this is beautiful and it is so, like, there's nobody here. We've seen a couple little preschool groups and then they just, yeah, so pretty stoked about this. I wanted to take a minute and talk about how to get out and do things with kids, because a lot of people feel like when you have kids you can't do anything anymore, or like your life kind of stops, or you're limited in a lot of ways. And I mean, there are some people that go like backpacking every week with their kids, right? Like, I'm not quite that end of the spectrum, and I'm obviously not the other end of the spectrum where it's like I don't leave the house because I'm too scared of the what ifs. I mean, a large part of that is just to do with the fact that I've been forced to. Like, we move around so much. I don't have a very comfortable place to stay at home. Like, if I had a really nice big house, I had all the different toys, maybe I would stay at home a lot more. However, that's not the case for us. Like, we live in smaller places, my kids go crazy, and so it's easier to parent outdoors is what I have found. And so that's just a big thing. When I see moms that are kind of like scared to get their kids out and about, you just gotta do it. So anyways, I wanted to share some things that I've learned along the way to help with people that have a lot of anxiety about getting their kids out. First of all, lower your expectations. Lower your expectations of your parenting and of their behavior. So two different things here. I parent differently when I'm at home versus when I'm out and about. So like, I don't use food as bribes. I'm kind of against that. But when I'm out and about, sometimes I have that as an emergency and I'm okay with it. No, don't eat the rocks. No, Clara, no. There are certain like firm boundaries that I hold very firm, and I get kind of like strict and not angry, but I am very forceful about it. Those tend to involve safety, and so I don't know. You just parent differently when you're not at home. And that's okay. Like, I think that's great. That was a tangent. I don't know how that ties into that point. But the other thing too is lower your expectations of them. So a lot of times when you're going out and adventuring, they get more tired more quickly. There's a lot of new things that they're experiencing. They will have more tantrums, they'll have more meltdowns, and just know and expect that, and then it tends to be more okay. Because if you're mentally prepared for it, you tend to be able to keep your cool better, and so then it's not as big of an issue. My next tip is to always have an emergency exit plan. This got a little bit tricky for me right after, like towards the end of my pregnancy, and then right after I had Clara, because when she was really little, I have a hard time hauling William if I'm by myself and Clara. So to make it better for me mentally and in those situations, I make sure to bring the stroller. Can you tell he's been swimming? I bring the stroller, so I know that if all starts to melt down and I need to get out of there quick and I can't physically haul both of them back to the car or whatever, I have the stroller with me, so then I can strap him into it. Even if he's screaming bloody murder, like, it'll be okay because I can strap him in, he is contained, I have Clara on me. That's my emergency exit plan for that situation or whatever. And then my last big tip is just to practice, because that's all you can do really. Like, you have to do it, and then, like I said, have low expectations, and most of the time it will go really well. Some of the times it will be a little traumatic, but at the end of the day, you get home, everything is fine, and it's not a super big deal. And I don't know, even the times that it is kind of a disaster, I'm still so much happier that we got out and we tried it. And it's a really good experience for William. Like, he is practicing and learning just as much as we are as parents. So I guess that's just the biggest thing to realize is, yeah, every time will look a little different, and just be flexible and see how it goes and adjust from there. And yeah, I wish I could promise that every time will be magical and wonderful, but it won't. That was incredible. That was just like the most peaceful hour of my life. I want to come back here. There's a big whole loop that you can do. We're not going to right now. We're just gonna head back to the car because we're hungry. This is another thing. We're not the best at this yet. We're gonna work on it. But bring lunches, like bring so much food, because everybody always gets hungry, and that is always what cuts our trip short, which makes me sad, because then you either end up like going to get food out, which is expensive and more unhealthy, but fun, or you have to just end up going home early. So we need to get better. I always bring lots of little snacks like almonds and apples, and that's another thing. I feel like on Instagram you're like looking at all these backpacking families with their 4-week-old and their toddler, and it's like, how are they doing that? And then you like read the finer details, and they're like, this backpacking trip, we backpacked for like an hour and we set up camp and we stayed for one night and it was terrible. I don't know, I just think there's a little bit more to it, but according to the picture it looks like this amazing life-altering trip, and it was just the best thing ever. So I don't know, she like pinches my skin and it hurts. Yeah. Your little claws. I don't know why babies' hands are so strong. Yeah, so if you are an adventuring mama out there, give me some tips, or just share down below what some of your favorite things are to do to help you get out, and when you get nervous, like, what do you do about it? If you're on the opposite end of the spectrum and you are scared to leave the house with your little ones, just start small. That's the other thing too. Start with a very small adventure. Like this, for example, this is like a 5-minute walk down to a creek, and it's great. I just went to SPCA thrift store and I got a casserole dish for $15. Why do we move to the most expensive places that like to upsell garbage? I don't know. But it is the like more vintage Pyrex with the capital letters. So it's got the actual like good glass, not the whatever. Anyways. And then I also got this really cute mug. And it was only $4. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I have a problem. So I went into the last one and then Billy's running into this one now. He's at Salvation Army. But the other thing I was going to say is that you know your children best. And so if you know that you have wild ones, know their limits and then know your limits as well. So like I'm all about getting out and about with your kids and practicing and all this good stuff. But I know that he does not do well in restaurants. It's not good for any of us and anybody else that's trying to eat there. Sometimes we'll do it just as the exposure and practice. We don't end up enjoying it at all. And then it's also expensive on top of that. And so know your kid and know what settings they are more likely to succeed in. It's not a one size fits all thing, unfortunately. And then like thrift stores are another one. Sometimes he'll do really well because he'll just sit there and play with the toys, but other times he does really bad because he doesn't want to leave the toys. So yeah, it's all about the situation and your kids. When they play together, it makes my heart so happy.
A butter dish, I guess. And a mug.
That's all you're gonna say?
That's what we found from the thrift store.
You made me turn my camera on for that. I went into one because I specifically wanted a butter dish. Could not find one. And then Billy went to the second one and found that thing. It's not a butter dish, but it's going to be used as such until we do find a butter dish.
Show me loading it full of butter.
You were so funny. Oh, there's white teas. We had the chamomile and the chai and they're so good. I'm just so excited to be stable, not to be having tea. But we're going to set up the dresser now. So watch this chaos turn into something beautiful. Okay, now I need to get all of these suitcases, all 4 suitcases into one dresser.
That's not happening.
It might. We'll see. That was a lot. I'm embarrassed to say this. I feel like all my videos I'm like, we're going to Costco. But we went to Costco and spent way too much money. It's like every time we go, we buy home goods there too. So it's like not just grocery shopping. Like we got a throw blanket and another thing of like Tupperwares. Anyways, we're home now. I don't know. We left at like 10 o'clock this morning and we're just getting home at like 4 o'clock. So we're going to have a coffee and try to settle down, rejuvenate our spirits. I don't know, get some energy. So yeah, I guess the whole theme for this video is I hope everyone goes out with their kids. It can get a little hostile sometimes, depending on where you live. Like, I know that sometimes people, they like to pretend that kids don't exist. And then if your kid is like acting up or, you know, just being a kid, then you kind of get weird looks. And sometimes people have the audacity to say words to you. And it's very silly. And I don't try to let those people bother me at all because, I mean, we were all babies. Babies are important. And most people love babies. And babies are the best. So don't let those people bother you. But I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!